Hello everyone, and welcome to a book haul, but also Vlogmas number 5. It's going to go up tomorrow, and today is Saturday, and I was at the book sale, the little library book sale that our friends of the local library committee board club puts on very regularly, because people donate a lot of books. I mean, it is a college town and people have a lot of books lying around. I mean, probably everywhere, but so I went there today, yeah, and so this will be going up tomorrow, and that'll be, sorry I get so confused about the posting and everything, but I think that's going to be 5. It'll be part of 5, and I'll have a little bit of footage of a little tiny bit of footage of the sale, not much, and then a tiny bit of library footage. I stepped out of the elevator to look at the second floor with the murals, which are kind of interesting, and that's when Bill called, and it was all like, it was very loud, the call that came, and I had to rush away, because of course I don't like cell phone noise. It was all very quiet, and I really want to go back there and start hanging out there more. It's kind of how I envision my retirement, is going to that library and then maybe sneaking over to the Dunkin' Donuts to get a coffee, because there's one right there that I never go to, and it always has a very long line. Yeah, and so I've decided to put the lights on, excuse me, on different colors. They're changing colors, and hopefully that's not too distracting, but I don't think it is. Kind of nice, and it's sort of like 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and I'm dragging a little bit, but I'm starting to feel better because I'm drinking a little coffee. Oh, so good. Espresso. I should drink it this way so you see the kitties. So in order for this not to be too long, I've already chatted for 2 minutes. Let's get right to the book. So I'm going to just, it's a whole grab bag of things, and there were quite a few things that were worthy of being picked up at a library sale. I mean, I did put back things that were worthy as well, but that I know that I'm just not going to read. For example, the Lampedusa book that everyone has been poring over, these truths, which looks really good, but I'm just being honest that I probably won't read it, or if only in little snippets here and there. So here's a book I probably will read, because it's Judge Saunders' book about, I think he's sort of, yeah, in which 4 Russians give a masterclass on writing, reading, and life. So yeah, I love the Russians, and I did really enjoy the Lincoln book, and so this will be good time. This is like nonfiction. This is my kind of nonfiction. I'm so excited that it's nonfiction, but oh yes, this is going to be good. Turgenev. Oh, I see. It's on like specific stories, which of course makes you want to go read them first. Anyway, that's good. You know, I'm just going to I'll be back in 1 second. There we go. Much better. I was getting too hot even for me. Yeah, which rarely happens, but it did happen there. So here we go with number 2. I have never read this author, and so I saw him and I had to pick it up because it was, you know, $1 for Utopia Avenue by David Mitchell. I'm not sure if this is, you know, people say that Cloud Atlas is better, and the Bone Clocks, I don't know. Since I've never read anything, I'll at least give this a go. You know what I mean? I'll give it a fair shake and see how I get along with it. And if not, that's fine. It cost, you know, didn't cost very much, and it can go back to the same sale. I have seen books there on and off the whole time. Now this one came apparently from Half Price Books, and it's a book of poetry by Louise Clook. As I recall, didn't she get the Nobel Prize very recently? And so yeah, and it's a very slim volume of poems, and I will read them. I'm not going to read them right now. I'll give you my opinions on them. Yes, poetry is like hit or miss with me, and I don't take it that seriously. I mean, I do like poetry, but I don't sort of live for it the way we live for other types of fiction, other types of literature. This is a Jean Simino I don't know which one it is. I've never read Simenon, but he's been on my list of people to check out. Maigret, Inspector Maigret. So Maigret's childhood friend. I'm interested in Simenon because I think people that I respect like him. It's a slim little volume. I don't know where it falls. Oh gosh. Other titles in the series. Oh my gosh, there's so many. So I don't know. But it was on the shelf and it's the only Simenon I've seen there, so I picked it up. We'll give it a go. Let's see, what else do we have here? It's quite a bit because there were lots of them. So this one has also been on my radar for quite a while. I'm actually really interested in reading this. And this is The Leopard by Giuseppe di Lampedusa. Set against the political upheavals of Italy in the 1860s, The Leopard is a towering achievement, one of the greatest historical novels of all time. Yes, definitely want to read this. I'm hoping I like it. This is 1960s, so it's 20th century, but looking backwards, I guess. So yeah, The Leopard. Glad I was able to snag a copy of that one. And then, of course, it's falling over. Sorry about the noise. They're in a noisy bag. Yeah, I like the imprint and I like the novelist for sure. It's George Eliot, Brother Jacob. So I think this is not really a novel. This is like a story, or a short novella type thing, with an afterword by someone. La Fontaine. So I will read Brother Jacob with the vintage Virago. Sorry, not vintage. Virago classics, with a picture by Frederick Leighton, Lord Leighton on the cover. Gotta take that. Sorry, my hair's going all over the place per usual. Next up, we have another author new to me, but I have heard of her, of course, Annie Ernaux, The Years. Excited for this one too. French writer, and considered by many to be the iconic French memoirist's defining work. Personal narrative of the period 1941 to 2006. Oh yeah, bring it on. I want to read it. So you can see how I was like, wow, all these good things, I gotta get them. And then this is like, I'm fairly sure I read this when I was a wee one. So it's a classic of children's literature called Tuck Everlasting by Natalie Babbitt. Is eternal life a blessing or a curse? That is what young Winnie Foster must decide when she discovers a spring on her family's property whose waters grant immortality. Members of the Tuck family, having drunk from the spring, tell Winnie of their experiences watching life go by and never growing older. Oh, that sounds really interesting. It doesn't sound that familiar though, but I'm pretty sure I read this. Anyway, Tuck Everlasting. Have people read this? Do you like it? Do you remember it? Hint, hint, comment. And here we go. And see, there were things like there were 3 paperback volumes of the Leon Adele's biography of James, but I think there's actually more than 3 volumes of it. And so I put that back because I do want to get back into reading James, but I'm not at the level. I don't really want to commit to his biography yet. So this is a funny story about this one here. So I really wasn't going to buy this, but what happened was I was looking at the store and then this thing fell out. Is it fate? Is it fate? You tell me, guys. Is this fate? This is fate. So it's a little card. Oh, it's a birthday card. Now I feel bad. Happy birthday, meow meow. Well, anyway, I have this person's birthday card now. And it's a cute kitty. And it fell on the floor out of this book that I decided to pick up because I thought it's James Boswell, who I guess is more famous because Samuel Johnson wrote about him. Am I right? No, he wrote about Johnson. I'm getting it wrong. Boswell's Johnson is famous. That's right. Yeah, I think that's what's going on. And so this is his travel works of a tour to the Hebrides, Journal of a Tour to the Hebrides, written in the 18th century. Yeah, Boswell's Life of Johnson is famous. And I actually think I have a copy. maybe even, I think there was like a read along and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to go read that. Sure, I'm going to jump on that bandwagon. Of course, I never got anywhere with it. I started reading it and I was enjoying it, but it was just too much. It took too much on. So it's actually a really nice copy. It's pristine condition and it's got some illustrations and it had a kitty in it. So I had to get it for like $1. I thought, what the heck, you know, it's pretty. I put it on my shelves. And then we're getting to the big ones. I have a couple of oversized books that I got, which is also unusual for me. And then I picked up this. It's older. It's an older edition of Yeats, given to us. It used to belong to an English professor from the University of Pennsylvania, Edward Irving Jr. Ring the bell. And it's a nice, complete Yeats, the collected poems of Yeats. And I thought, I don't think we have one of those. And Yeats is a wonderful poet that I don't know very well. And so I can dip in here and read some. It's got that old book smell. I actually kind of like that smell. And it's in pretty good condition. It's not falling apart. It's a little beat up, but I am going through it to see if there are any dried flowers or anything. Because, you know, the things we find in books. My mother was always putting flowers in things. So and all the ones from her, a lot of times I'll find dried flowers from New Zealand or wherever. Yeah, so I have a nice copy of Yeats. Very nice, very nice. Now we get into the picture books. So this one I really was in two minds, but then I thought, what the heck, it's 50 cents or something. I got a illustrated Jack and the Beanstalk, since I teach fairy tales, but I don't teach Jack and the Beanstalk, which is, as I recall, a British fairy tale. I don't know the provenance of this fairy tale. And also not this version. Who knows what version this is? Penguin Young, retold by, retold. We know what that means. But I'd have to go back and go in but I do like the illustrations. They're very it's beautifully illustrated with these pictures of the giant. And so yeah, I thought, what the heck, for 50 cents I can take that with me. And then I also got my kind of nonfiction. The Presidents, like, it's one of these DK books, whatever you call them, illustrated. And so, you know, it's probably pretty, wow, it even has a DVD or CD. It must have been, like, I don't know why I could get this. Eyewitness Presidents. And so you get all of them. George Washington. And, you know, you can just look at this one when you're not really in the mood to read an actual book about any of them. I'm sorry. And you have some nice pictures of Thomas Jefferson, who was not as wonderful as some people say he was, but it's complicated, which I guess you could say that about all of these people. It's complicated. Andrew Jackson. It's almost like, you know, if I ever do decide to become a citizen, I need to know who these people are. The order of them. I always wanted to know which order they are, and I don't know the order of the presidents. Franklin Pierce. Who comes before Pierce? People are saying Millard Fillmore. I would not know that. And then Buchanan. James Buchanan. And then on the Buchanan page, they tell us about Frederick Douglass. There's a little side note down here. A former slave. That's interesting. And then, of course, Abe. Good old Abe. And on and on and on. And it ends with Obama, I think. Gosh. Such strange times we live in, that after Obama it was you-know-who. Interesting. Anyway, so that's nice for me. And then last but not least, I got Dear Millie. Morris Sendak's beautifully illustrated. They found this letter that Wilhelm Grimm wrote, and it contained a story, apparently. I don't really know about this. But the pictures are really interesting. I mean, Sendak's a really interesting artist. And you can tell he's been studying the romantic art of people like Runge. Because there's some echoes of other people in there, but then he's his own thing too. And so for $1 or maybe 50 cents, and it's also in very good condition. It's brand new, basically. It doesn't look like it's had much wear and tear. And yeah, so beautiful illustrations right there. My first book was Where the Wild Things Are. I remember teaching myself to pretend read it. I didn't really know the letters yet, words yet, but I would look at the pictures and could sort of half read it before I went to school. So yeah, that's gonna be a wrap on that Vlogmas. I hope everyone's doing well, and I will see you very soon. Bye bye everyone.